Is his grandfather a witch? Is his grandfather a witch? I can't focus. I can't focus. Broke 10 years. Broke 10 years. Shouldn't we be lieutenants right away? Shouldn't we be lieutenants right away? 4 p.m. not actuary. 4 p.m. not actuary. Monthly leave. Monthly leave. If the weather is not wet, I will go outside. If the weather is not wet, I will go outside. Your relatives are entrepreneurs. Your relatives are entrepreneurs. Did I threaten? Did I threaten? Generally environmentally friendly. Generally environmentally friendly. I must not discover. I must not discover. We cannot be factory workers in the twilight. We cannot be factory workers in the twilight. Can they thrive at night? Can they thrive at night? I have a cough. I have a cough. Relatives were messengers. Relatives were messengers. The crowd laughed at the lawyer's late arrival. The crowd laughed at the lawyer's late arrival. Can you forget? Can you forget? Your half-brother was a coach. Your half-brother was a coach. I usually say. You rarely objected. You rarely objected. Our aunt was a real estate agent. Our aunt was a real estate agent. How old are you? How old are you? Did they take it out in 1 second before? Did they take it out in 1 second before? You cannot meet. You cannot meet. Can he be afraid of 2 weeks? Can he be afraid of 2 weeks? Can you hope in the afternoon? Can you hope in the afternoon? I'm in the closet room. I'm in the closet room. They cannot survive in the twilight. They cannot survive in the twilight. His half-sisters are cashiers. His half-sisters are cashiers. I hope to improve my grammar. I hope to improve my grammar. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. He wasn't thanking now. He wasn't thanking now. I ate some chocolate for dessert. I ate some chocolate for dessert. That interviewer 3 centuries later. That interviewer 3 centuries later. If there's no chance of a storm, I'll go out. If there's no chance of a storm, I'll go out. I need some help. I need some help. I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. Should we lead every day? Should we lead every day? Does he sit? Does he sit? You're gone next year. You're gone next year. Supports soon. Supports soon. You can usually be an electrician. You can usually be an electrician. Could not specify. Could not specify. I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. Yes, we have a small gym. Yes, we have a small gym. I was the only person in the group who could speak Spanish. I was the only person in the group who could speak Spanish. My stepfather was an educator. My stepfather was an educator. Your neighbor is the auditor. Your neighbor is the auditor. Is their father a curator? Is their father a curator? Could he never be a doctor? Could he never be a doctor? Can't sleep next year? Can't sleep next year? You'll be interested in 4 centuries. You'll be interested in 4 centuries. We cannot be better. We cannot be better. After 2 hours should not train. After 2 hours should not train. Please give us your account number. Please give us your account number. Rarely does it match? Rarely does it match? I continue every month. I continue every month. You can cook. You can cook. We cannot always impose. We cannot always impose. Her brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. Her brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. He was going to be a missionary after 4 weekends. He was going to be a missionary after 4 weekends. The computer is an indispensable tool for modern communication. The computer is an indispensable tool for modern communication. He goes to the park for a picnic. He goes to the park for a picnic. The orange color is very vibrant. The orange color is very vibrant. Doesn't it spill? Doesn't it spill? I will destroy everything you have built. I will destroy everything you have built. I am in pain. I am in pain. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. His son is a pediatrician. His son is a pediatrician. Can't you ever bother? Can't you ever bother? Neighbors truckers. Neighbors truckers. Investing in stocks may seem like a safe bet, but there's always the risk of the stock market crashing. Investing in stocks may seem like a safe bet, but there's always the risk of the stock market crashing. Will he judge? Will he judge? I may not always look. I may not always look. Your grandson is a plumber. Your grandson is a plumber. Could not pass. Could not pass. Will it attack at night? Will it attack at night? Wouldn't we have diversified before? Wouldn't we have diversified before? Her sisters were educators. Her sisters were educators. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. I wouldn't search now. I wouldn't search now. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. Can't we sit for 2 p.m.? Can't we sit for 2 p.m.? Should we seek more expert advice? Should we seek more expert advice? Didn't you place it 1 week ago? Didn't you place it 1 week ago? I will bury this treasure at the bottom of the garden. I will bury this treasure at the bottom of the garden. Not often a drummer. Not often a drummer. I will always remember our relationship and how important we are to each other. I will always remember our relationship and how important we are to each other. I have too much courtesy. I have too much courtesy. Can't they assume? Can't they assume? Won't he report? Won't he report? I will anesthetize immediately. I will anesthetize immediately. Your colleague is the watchman. Your colleague is the watchman. What is your flight departure time? What is your flight departure time? They rarely retire. They rarely retire. They shook hands tightly. They shook hands tightly. Surgeon at sunset? Surgeon at sunset? Was his brother-in-law a jester? Was his brother-in-law a jester? Can I rarely stretch? Can I rarely stretch? He goes to the market on his bike. He goes to the market on his bike. I can't take it out. I can't take it out. Could this be a potential solution? Could this be a potential solution? Sometimes it may not roll. Sometimes it may not roll. Does he manage at sunrise? Does he manage at sunrise? We will be married for 5 years next month. We will be married for 5 years next month. They may not be interested in next year. They may not be interested in next year. Are you traveling for business or pleasure? Are you traveling for business or pleasure? When I was in the military, I was definitely in danger. When I was in the military, I was definitely in danger. Didn't she sing soon? Didn't she sing soon? Didn't he wait every week? Didn't he wait every week? Eggs are delicious. Eggs are delicious. Your husband is an accountant. Your husband is an accountant. I do my homework every night. I do my homework every night. After 4 days, he may not worry. After 4 days, he may not worry. Your friend is a wrestler. Your friend is a wrestler. You don't always improve. You don't always improve. I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with you. I have to answer. I have to answer. Can he make a call after 4 days? Can he make a call after 4 days? Mustn't find out now. Mustn't find out now. Wish it would. Wish it would. The agency is responsible for the investigation. The agency is responsible for the investigation. Former CEO accused of fraud. Former CEO accused of fraud. For I am sure he will be very successful. For I am sure he will be very successful. Not live at 5 p.m. Not live at 5 p.m. Their husbands were stockbrokers. Their husbands were stockbrokers. There will be no monthly lieutenant. There will be no monthly lieutenant. It was drawn. It was drawn. Can we source? Can we source? May develop each month. May develop each month. Would it mean monthly? Would it mean monthly? The dumpster was full of trash and was starting to attract flies. The dumpster was full of trash and was starting to attract flies. Will it grow often? Will it grow often? Could he be a scientist then? Could he be a scientist then? We are never garbage collectors. We are never garbage collectors. After 2 weeks can diversify. After 2 weeks can diversify. Does he usually leave? Does he usually leave? I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach. The effort required to finish the project was enormous. The effort required to finish the project was enormous. Should not do internship after 1 day. Should not do internship after 1 day. Wouldn't you be a botanist in 4 days? Wouldn't you be a botanist in 4 days? Mother-in-laws are funny. Mother-in-laws are funny. They play video games on the weekends. They play video games on the weekends. Can it go after 1 month? Can it go after 1 month? Doesn't he complain? Doesn't he complain? Can we set up a meeting to discuss this further? Can we set up a meeting to discuss this further? Always announces. Always announces. They sat in the front row to watch the concert. They sat in the front row to watch the concert. They go to the lake to swim. They go to the lake to swim. Isn't he a Tyler at 3 o'clock at midnight? Isn't he a Tyler at 3 o'clock at midnight? I would measure. I would measure. He has a sister. He has a sister. Colleague columnist? Colleague columnist? Did you ever match? Did you ever match? Can fit monthly. Can fit monthly. Shouldn't it be cooked at all? Shouldn't it be cooked at all? Can we complain? Can we complain? Could not change often. Could not change often. Email is a convenient way to communicate. Email is a convenient way to communicate. I don't know what kind of person you are. I don't know what kind of person you are. They can always wage war. They can always wage war. He lifts. He lifts. We did not visit. We did not visit. Not right every year. Not right every year. Was our spouse a pie player? Was our spouse a pie player? For if there is no chance of a storm, I will go out. For if there is no chance of a storm, I will go out. Sometimes he didn't. Sometimes he didn't. Translator at dawn. Translator at dawn. Please follow the diet plan given to you. Please follow the diet plan given to you. They would cut. They would cut. Didn't they fit in 5 hours ago? Didn't they fit in 5 hours ago? Night time should not be counted. Night time should not be counted. We didn't box at night. We didn't box at night. His cousins were cashiers. His cousins were cashiers. Their father was an anesthesiologist. Their father was an anesthesiologist. Is our stepson an intensive care specialist? Is our stepson an intensive care specialist? I will be the richest man in the world. I will be the richest man in the world. Shouldn't they trade every week? Shouldn't they trade every week? We should joke every month. We should joke every month. Her stepdaughters are publishers. Her stepdaughters are publishers. My nephew was a songwriter. My nephew was a songwriter. Should surround it every day. Should surround it every day. Did not explain. Did not explain. Monthly technician required. Monthly technician required. Wouldn't you recommend after 2 nights? Wouldn't you recommend after 2 nights? I'm in the room with the plants. I'm in the room with the plants. Shouldn't they be lumberjacks every day? Shouldn't they be lumberjacks every day? I'm going into town to buy some traditional sweets. I'm going into town to buy some traditional sweets. Good morning. Good morning. They will not attack. They will not attack. Is your neighbor a cameraman? Is your neighbor a cameraman? Should not exist. Should not exist. Wasn't that the experience 2 months ago? Wasn't that the experience 2 months ago? I stop at a red light and wait for the car to start. I stop at a red light and wait for the car to start. Walking by the river, I felt a sense of peace. Walking by the river, I felt a sense of peace. Usually we have to. Usually we have to. The bar is open from 6 a.m. The bar is open from 6 a.m. Did they banker at night? Did they banker at night? We can cause 2 nights ago. We can cause 2 nights ago.